Alright. It's time for Capcom. This should be tame. It's probably just gonna be updates to like Resident Evil, Monster Hunter Rise, Stories 2. That thing they put out, that multiplayer thing with Resident Evil 8. A reminder about Ghosts and Goblins coming to PS4 and Xbox. God. Come on, Capcom, impress me. Because Ubisoft didn't. Xbox was fine, minus the lack of release dates for anything from first parties. Square Enix may as well not have happened. I've got to keep Twitter open for this one, methinks. Realistically, we're not going to see Mega Man. We're not going to see a new Devil May Cry. They're just going to coast along and say, here's what we've released recently, here's the DLC for it, here's what's coming up in like the next 2 months. Enjoy. What else does Capcom own? Street Fighter? Probably more Street Fighter 5 shit. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite gets more DLC that no one asked for. Like 3 years after that game stopped being relevant. What else? Tim,
I had to sign into YouTube again.
you are really quiet.
That's because I am quiet. I'm just mostly whispering and grumbling to myself because I have to log into YouTube again. I hate E3 already. I understand, maybe inappropriate. I understand and wish to proceed. Silence. Which one is the top? Oh, this is the top.
From what I'm hearing, this is just going to be like updates on shit that's already out or coming out in like the next 2 months.
Okay.
Which makes me wonder why they're even doing it in the first place.
Yeah.
E3 2021, man. The only 2 companies that feel like they've been prepared for this are Xbox and Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it really does make me wonder why third parties even bother having like their own shows. Because, like, surely, if, like, say Xbox has the marketing rights to a Ubisoft game, wouldn't it make more sense to just show it there?
Maybe?
Like they did. Like announcing Mario plus Rabbids 2. Could have just done that in the Direct tomorrow.
Think about it this way. You save time for other things.
You know, announcing Square Enix mobile games. Could have just done that anywhere else. But not E3.
I need to find.
I kind of feel like a lot of this shit would have padded out a Sony conference. Like all that Square Enix stuff would have been in a PlayStation show. I see how it works.
Wait, what the hell? Why did I say this?
Here at Capcom, we're pleased to announce we're releasing Resident Evil 4 again.
I can turn.
This time for the PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Oh, this is Chris Cron. That was what I was talking about. I'm like, why the hell did I type the words "I can turn into a teleporting hamster ball of death at will" now? And I'm like, what was this about? But I remember.
Sorry, what were you talking about?
Yeah, I know. I was like, what? I had to like see it.
Do you know where you are? I have no idea.
There's the image I want. Finally found it.
I see Benny speaking code now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
That's
the image
Toriyama.
that was the image I was looking for. I searched Discord backlog for hamster.
Oh,
Couldn't
no,
find it.
really. It's Android 17. Goku. Goku. And Goku.
And Gohan. No, the last one's Gohan. No. No, it's Android 17, then Vegeta, then Goku, and then Gohan. Because like Vegeta's hair tends to go like straight up, whereas Goku's like kind of parts to the side. Can't believe I'm saying that.
Can the Dragon Quest heroes go Super Saiyan?
I want to say Spirit Combination's gonna allow for that, but they're like, that's not saying much. Alright, here we go.
Alright, who's ready for disappointment?
Welcome to the Capcom E3 Showcase. I'm your host, Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer, and I'll be your guide as we walk through the latest releases, news, and updates from Capcom. We'll hear from the Resident Evil Village team, share some news from the world of Monster Hunter, and get the latest on Ace Attorney. Then we'll wrap up with some updates from our friends at Capcom Fighters. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Our
You are
first
far too
stop today,
enthusiastic.
Resident Evil Village. The Resident Evil franchise continues to pioneer the latest and greatest in survival horror.
Is it better
The
to
team has
be
been blown
not
away by the
enthusiastic at
response
all
to
or too
Resident Evil
enthusiastic?
Village, which launched last
There's a
month.
fine line to walk
It
there.
brought the world another chapter in this decades-long
There
story
is,
as the
but
franchise celebrates its 25th anniversary
I'd
this
say
year.
being non-enthusiastic
I'm
is
honored
worse.
to be able to introduce Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village, with a special message for the fans.
Another time.
Bye-bye.
So I really hope you guys realise that you marketed this game on the premise that Lady Dimitrescu would be the main villain, and she's the first boss you fight.
She's everything to me.
I think it's time you left things in my hands.
You all not saying much, right?
Rest.
Yeah.
Ever played Final Fantasy 1?
Yeah.
Who's the first boss?
Garland.
Who's the last
Hi
boss?
everyone, my name is Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer
Garland.
on Resident
Yeah,
Evil
but here's the
Village.
thing.
Yep.
In Resident
I
Evil
wanted to
Village,
take this
Lady
opportunity to
Dimitrescu is the
thank
first boss.
everyone who
She-
prayed
she-
since
that's
we
it, she's
launched
dead.
the game in May. We hope you're enjoying this new chapter in survival horror. As a reminder, everyone who purchases Resident Evil Village will
It's like, here's
gain
all our
free
marketing,
access to
right?
our
Great.
online
There's
multiplayer
3
title,
more
Resident
groups of
Evil
monsters to go
Reverse,
through.
where players go head-to-head with their favorite Resident
Oh,
Evil
yeah,
weapons
Reverse.
and bioweapons.
That multiplayer
I'm
thing
now
they're tying
happy
to Resident Evil 8 for
announce
some
that
reason.
Resident Evil Reverse will go live next month across
If you
all
can't play as
supported
Tofu, it ain't
platforms.
worth it.
So head into the fray to celebrate the Resident Evil 25th anniversary.
We're making DLC for Village. Everybody expected that.
Thank you, Kanda-san, for that wonderful update.
Yup.
Next up, some long-awaited news from the world of Monster Hunter. Whether it's adventuring alongside monsters or battling them with friends, we've got something for you. First, let's dive into the brand new story-based RPG entry to the series, Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin.
It comes out next month.
Oh yeah. No wait. Next month.
Yeah, it's in July.
Oh, I thought it was the end of June.
Honestly, right? July, if you like RPGs, is a fucking nightmare because you've got Monster Hunter Stories 2, you've got East 9. If you like Zelda as well, there's Skyward Sword.
May have been strong and skilled, but against the awesome power of nature,
I will also give them this. They are pushing this game far harder than the first one. Because I didn't even know the first one was a thing.
Things just kept getting worse.
Neither did I.
But I heard that Guardian Ratha had survived.
And apparently it didn't
and
do too hot.
returned to Hekolu Island.
Hmm.
I went there to see Red's old monster again. Then, of course, that's when I met you.
You were given Red's kinship stone and now a Rathalos egg. This is destiny.
This is the legendary monster, Ray's Wing Ratha, the monster with the wings of ruin.
it's said that a beat of its wings can bring about waves of destruction.
Many people believe there's a connection between the strange happenings and the wings of ruin. The pits are appearing everywhere, and they're emitting a strange light.
Yeah, I want to be surprised. It took them as long as it did to make Monster Hunter a turn-based RPG.
I'd be down.
This whole idea of forming kinship.
I mean, that's what
with
Stories
monsters?
is.
How do you control them?
It's not about control. Monsters help riders of their own will. And the bonds between monsters and riders are just like your bond with Tsukino.
I can't wait for people to say, wow, this looks too good for a Switch game.
What kind of power does Ratha really have? Why are
It's
all
like,
these pits
haven't we learned yet?
And who are those people who want to take Ratha for themselves?
If you make a game with that system in
All I
mind,
have
you can get some
was
fucking good shit.
If
Oh
there's
yeah.
worry or
The
doubt in your
mileage on
voice,
you can get is crazy.
Ratha will become anxious.
It's like, wow, Monster Hunter Rise looks too good to be a Switch game, and it comes out, it's like, wow, that's actually a Switch game.
No matter what. I can
They're doing
sense
it
the
with
flames
Mario
of
and
his
Rabbids
life
now. It's
force
like, wow, that
waking.
looks a little too clean, and I'm like,
The burden of such great
it's
power
4 years
Yeah.
into the system,
is
and the
too
dev
much
team
for
knows
his
what they're
body to
doing
bear.
now. If it ain't clean as fuck, I'm worried.
A voice. Can you hear it?
Riders can bond with monsters. Surely you can groove with fellow humans.
They have the power of kinship. They're friends. They're monsties. Humans carry the strength of everyone they meet. That makes them strong. My friends here taught me that. I believe in the strength of humanity.
Hey, the Palamute.
It's Zacian.
Oh, there's a demo coming.
Oh, cool.
That'd be good. Bit of Rise cross promotion. Free amiibo for this game as well.
Excuse me?
Save data compatibility between the games.
July 9th. Oh, that's... Ooh. It's
Looks
early.
pretty epic, right? And how about that announcement? The canine companion Palamute from Monster Hunter Rise will be joining Monster Hunter Stories 2 as one of the new monsties in the first free title update coming soon after the game's release. You can get an early peek at the game with the Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin trial version starting on June 25th, which also carries your progress over to the full game release just a few weeks later on July 9th.
May have to
That's
try
not
that
the
trial
only way
version
to
out.
join the hunt. Millions of you made Monster Hunter Rise a huge success earlier this year, and we have even more content coming, including a new collaboration on the Rise. Let's find out more.
Let's go! This is for my fellow hunters!
Yeah, obviously a bit of a crossover between stories and...
Get ready. I have a good feeling. What will it be? Moon's blessing emerged.
More event quests. You can now wear shades.
Tamura is like my second home.
You think you can take on Rondine?
Update in 10 days? Cool.
Yeah.
There has never been a better time to be a Monster Hunter fan, with all the new updates to Monster Hunter Rise and the launch of Monster Hunter Stories 2 this summer. We can't wait to hear about your own stories of adventure. Well, that's not the only thing Capcom has in store for us this July. Fans of Phoenix Wright will have new chapters to explore with the release of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
So
North
we're
American
finally
and
releasing this
European
game.
Future attorneys
Great.
will finally be able to get their hands on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures and the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, which were previously only available in Japan. You'll travel back in time to the late 19th century Japan and London to play as Ryunosuke
I am excited, but
Naruhodo,
like most of the
Phoenix
excitement was
Wright's
from the
ancestor
initial
in this
announcement.
action-packed prequel. Now let's hear more about the story.
So then, let us unravel this mystery. Welcome to the centre of the world. Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
This country is incredible.
I mean, it's probably got to be good in Ace Attorney.
I have to.
Well, it's Ace Attorney. Of course it's gonna be good.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder.
Ah, yes, Herlock Sholmes.
Herlock Sholmes. You must have heard of me.
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san.
Let us engage in the art of deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. Well...
Wasn't this a 3DS game?
Yeah, this is a 3DS game. They both were.
It would seem the truth.
Also, it is Sherlock Holmes. They just changed his name for
The defense
copyright reasons.
demands its right to a cross-examination.
Oh, group questioning. That's
Your
really good.
testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Objection!
I'm convinced the fucking judge is
My lord,
immortal.
with all due
Oh, hi,
respect,
Dracula.
This is an outrage.
To be fair, the judges are immortal, but they are different people.
You're the best lawyer in the world.
Because like the judge from the main
So
series
we have
games is
10
always
new
the same
cases
one.
And 8 mini
But then, like,
escapades
all-
where
like,
you
the
can
other
take on
judges
the
are
role of a
different.
defense attorney. Now, we all want to see some gameplay, right? Let's take a closer first look at 2 gameplay features new to the franchise in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles: Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination.
Hello, I'm Jonathan, Capcom's marketing brand manager for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
I have been racking my brain over how to localize this game for the past 6 years.
Where to?
In court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
The Capcom team is thrilled to present 2 new gameplay features, Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination, coming to the Ace Attorney series.
Dance of Deduction is probably the new gimmick.
While investigating to prove your client's innocence, players will come across conspicuous situations that require further
Or Ned
examination
Flanders killing the plan.
with the
You know,
help
could have
of
been that.
Inosuke's legal aid Susato and the brilliance of deduction from Detective Herlock. Herlock will proceed to present his logic and reasoning spectacular, a grandiose yet flawed series of conjectures.
What?
Okay, the joke must be that Herlock is like half right.
Uh-huh.
Ryunosuke and Susato will then discuss to correct the flaws in Herlock's deductions. At this point, players will be prompted to search for clues that help identify the errors in the detective's logic and reveal the truth to the mystery. As players present new evidence and observations, Herlock will amend his deductions based on the new information. Upon uncovering the truth, Ryunosuke and Herlock enter into a semi-metaphorical, semi-literal dance that brings them to the conclusion of the Dance of Deduction.
He's not a brunette. He's a blonde.
He's not even Russian.
So basically, he gets you about halfway there.
In courtroom battles, players will attempt to convince 6
And
jurors
you've got to tell him
of
you're
innocence
kind
of
of
their
right.
client. Their progress will be displayed and represented by 2 scales of justice, one black, representing a guilty verdict, and
Why
one
is one of
white,
those that a jury got a
not
fucking knife?
Objection!
In summation examination, take the stand to face off against the jurors, all of whom provide explanations as to why they've reached their guilty verdict.
This isn't entirely new, because in the latent crossover, you could cross-examine
You'll have
multiple
to
witnesses at
identify
once.
conflicting statements and sway the jury in your favor. Examine each statement carefully and select 2 contradicting jurors to call out the flaws in their logic.
Objection!
Be ready to provide evidence from the court record to help prove the contradiction in their claims. When you successfully point out one of these contradictions among the jurors, you might just change their minds, too. With a slam of their fist, each juror you persuade will send a fiery ball towards the scales above and literally tip the scales of justice in your favor. Bring each contradiction to light and persuade the jury to help prove your client's innocence.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
This has
Christ.
just been a small taste of the exciting new
He is
gameplay
Dracula.
features in the Great Ace Attorney.
Yeah, from what I heard,
We're
Baron
very
von
excited
Zeeks is
to get this
very
game in
extra.
the hands of both new fans
He uses
and diehard
wine
fans.
glasses and bottle
Thanks for watching.
wine glasses and
He
bottles
uses
in
wine
his-
glasses very liberally.
It already
Yep.
seems like I have a bunch of games to catch up on. There are some exciting new adventures and titles to look forward to. Well, that's a look at the new premieres from Capcom, but what about esports? Let's close out today's showcase with a few words
Did
from
somebody
2
say
of the stars of Capcom
esports?
Fighters, Rob TV and Vicious. They'll tell us what's been going on
Street
with
Fighter
Capcom
5.
esports, including updates on the Capcom Pro Tour.
Hey guys, you want to play Marvel
Open,
vs. Capcom
Street Fighter
Infinite?
League, and all the other content on Capcom
Get out
Fighters.
your Infinity
Over
eggs.
to you guys.
Infinity.
Did you not hear about that?
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Capcom.
There's
Esports
that mega
Showcase
expensive
E3 2021.
Marvel vs.
My name
Capcom
is
Infinite
Vicious.
Collector's
I'm a
Edition.
creator for
Came
the
with like
Capcom
6
Pro Tour,
Infinity
as well
Stones
as
in a
Street
box.
Fighter League,
They weren't stones.
competitive Street Fighter 5 player and host
remember.
extraordinaire.
Fucking colored eggs. I was
Rob
like,
TV.
what the
What's going
fuck?
on, Rob?
Oh my goodness, Vicious. Host extraordinaire. That just sounds beautiful. It has a ring to it. And I think that's the perfect word to describe what we have for everyone today. Street Fighter 5, Capcom E3. It just feels right and you feel the electricity in the air. Nice! Nice! What? That was nasty. And there might be some people at home, Vicious, who don't fully know what competitive Street Fighter 5 is.
Ah,
The long and
yeah,
the
Street
short of it
Fighter
is this.
5.
We travel all around the world, state to state, country to country, and we try to bring our opponent's life bar from 100
The
all
game
the way
that
down to 0
was
and
kind
feel
of shit when
pretty
it started,
damn good.
and
That's right, Rob. If you think you're the best in your region,
is entirely built
sign up
around
to
the
Capcom
fact it's
Pro Tour
competitive.
to prove it and become possibly
Thankfully, it
a
aged
world
well.
champion at Street Fighter 5.
The double perfect, the way he looked
Yeah.
at the camera like, don't ever expect another man to control it.
So in this year's CPT overall, it's a series of tournaments that have $5,000 on the line for each tournament, but that money alone.
Hey,
that's not
Daigo's
the
still
big-
playing.
That's not
Nice.
what's really at stake here. It's about making it to the granddaddy.
I'm not
of them
surprised,
all.
but like it's still cool.
Capcom Cup.
Item just resetting grand finals of Capcom Cup.
So behind me, you can see in all of its glory, the Capcom Pro Tour 2021 official stage and set, and that's a place that you are very, very familiar with.
That's right. We take all of our events and broadcast it live from this stage, and we check out all of the top competitors from each and every one of these regions. And speaking of, the Capcom Pro Tour has shaped up a lot. 2021, we have 32 events going on in the Capcom Pro Tour, spanning across 19 different territories. So there's so many opportunities for players from around the world to get that ticket into Capcom Cup this season. I'm absolutely excited because, again, that is a big change from what 2020 was into what we could expect for 2021.
And Mago is your first qualifier
for Japan for the Capcom Pro Tour. Not only can you catch the Capcom Pro Tour live on the Capcom Fighters channel, you can do so on a plethora of platforms. We have it on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Of course, if you don't catch it live, you can also check out the VODs for all the competitive studying you would need.
Yeah, it's good Capcom leaned into the esports thing, given, you know,
some of the community-focused
Street Fighter.
that we have on Capcom Fighters.
Yeah.
We have No Neutral, the official pre-show of the Capcom Pro Tour. We have sets where we take players from around the world and play off in an exhibition first to 10. Not only that, actually, we do have Street Fighter League that's happened season after season, non-stop action, 6 teams of 3, duke it out in this battle tournament series to see who will walk away with the championship and the $150,000 prize pool.
You know, if they had a strong Marvel vs. Capcom game going, they could include that as well, but
you actually have your teammates at your back.
Yikes.
And every decision that you make is not just about you anymore.
Look for more news on
I mean, I'm sure they'll bring out Street Fighter 2.
It's Oki time. What's gonna happen? Nice. He checks it. He checks the movement. What's happening?
It's so good.
Let's not forget, the Intel World Opening is happening right now. Top players representing 11 regions around the world are competing for their place in the World Finals.
Watch this be half the show.
Month. Be sure to check out the official website for more information, including current standings and broadcast schedule.
To commemorate this event, everyone who logged in during this period will receive an exclusive competitor title and dojo object. You do not want to miss this.
I highly recommend everyone to stay tuned for future Capcom Pro Tour updates on the Capcom Fighters channel.
And again, we've had so many events so far. We started off with the Japan region. We've had a couple of more events going on afterwards, but the action does not stop. In fact, we're going to be continuing off with the Midwest region for the Capcom Pro Tour. I know you're definitely excited about that.
100%. I mean, of course, your boy is from Ohio. Make sure you guys tune in to see the tournament.
You do not want to miss some of the best Street Fighter V players in the world compete head-to-head.
So it's you.
I dare you to find better Street Fighter. I dare you. This is a game.
Yeah, it's competitive Street Fighter.
Obviously, they got a rivalry.
I'm the best in the world.
This game has changed the lives of so many people here.
Ooh! Nice! The pop-off! That's what I'm talking about. I told you it's gonna go to the limit, and I ain't liable to beat.
This is the ultimate Street Fighter V experience. This is Capcom Pro Tour.
Thanks, guys. It's been a really exciting season so far, and I can't wait to see how this plays out on the road to Capcom Cup. Remember to check out Capcom Fighters' Twitch and YouTube channels for more information and to watch the latest matches. So that's a wrap for Capcom at E3 this year. Let's recap what we all saw. Resident Evil Village is back with the latest installment of the survival horror experience and RE-Verse as part of the franchise's 25th anniversary. We have new adventures to embark on in the world of Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, and Monster Hunter Rise. And don't forget to go back in time with the great Ace Attorney Chronicles to tap into the family history of Phoenix Wright and solve new cases. Finally, don't miss out on the esports fun. Make sure you catch the latest matches with Capcom Fighters. There really is something for everyone here today. But don't go anywhere yet. Join the conversation on Twitter and make sure you check out the Capcom virtual booth on the E3 portal to watch all these videos again and more. I'm Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer. Thank you for being part of the Capcom experience at E3 this year.
So it was quite literally, here's some updates on some stuff that's already out. Here's what's coming up in like the next 2 months.
I mean, that's fine, I guess.
You know what's fucked up? I think this was better than Square Enix.
Yep.
If only because it was better paced.
It was. Didn't feel dull. They were very upfront about everything they were gonna do.
Yeah, it's like, here's what we're gonna show. It's stuff you already know about, but it's gonna go deeper into it. That'll be it.
It's the 3-point method.
And Square was up front as well. But what we got was 25 minutes of Guardians of the Galaxy. The soul-crushing en masse Final Fantasy stuff, a lot of mobile, more Marvel Avengers, Babylon's Fall looking worse than it ever has, and then
How long did Square Enix
Chaos.
presentation? How long did Square Enix presentation last?
It was
An
about
hour?
45 minutes.
Yeah, this one was like 30, and it felt like 15.
Right.
So
So I
that was that.
think E3 realistically this year is gonna be a toss up between Xbox and Nintendo.
I'm gonna bookmark Stories 2 now that I actually know something about the game.
Yeah. It's like it depends on whose approach you prefer. Nintendo we know is gonna do 2021, so the next 6 months, and some stuff for next year.
Yeah.
Xbox was some stuff for this year, a lot of stuff for next year, and first party stuff that hasn't even got a window yet. So it's like, whose approach do you prefer? Do you prefer... I mean, I would rather E3 be the next 6 to 8 months than the next 4 years.
Yeah, I would rather. It's like, what's stuff that's coming out sometime this year, and then maybe like 1 or 2 things early next year.
Yeah,
Something
because
that's
the
like
problem Xbox is now going to
imminently
have, so they've revealed
imminently relevant.
like Hellblade 2, Perfect Dark, Fable, Avowed, Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, like loads out of worlds, like all these first party games they've got from all these studios. That's not all of them, by the way. I'm missing some. I know I am. That don't have release windows, which means we're going to be seeing them for like the next. We'll definitely be seeing some of them next E3 and the E3 after, and the E3 after. And it's like, great, we know these games are coming, but you've kind of blown your load. Like, why did they announce the Outer Worlds 2? The trailer literally says, "Yeah, we've got nothing to show you." It's a thing. Here you go. Enjoy.
Let's bookmark this. Cool.
But the thing is, right, E3 happens every year. So E3 really should be your like next year and a bit worth of plans. Like hard evidence on like the next 6 months, maybe some stuff like first half of the following year. You know, maybe something a bit further out, and then the following year you do it again, and then you do it again, and it just rolls. Never forget how Sony spent the last 2 E3s that they attended.
I try not to.
It's like, do you like Spider-Man? Yeah. God of War? Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima? Yeah. Last of Us? Uh-huh. It's like that fucking Jimmy Neutron meme. This is the 7th show and tell you've done in a row.
Yep.
Right. 5 PM tomorrow, my time. So in T-minus 16 hours. Nope.
Oh,
Brain
that's like
can't
9
count.
a.m.
18 hours.
for me.
For 40 minutes of stuff.